What's up guys, the Code Holic is here and welcome to my channel. In this video we're going to create a GIPHY search application using Vue.js and deploy that on Netlify. So let's see actually what we're going to build. So right here we have a search input, and whenever we type something, for example Mr. Bean, it makes a request to the GIFI API using the API key and returns that GIFs. And by default it returns 50, but we're gonna limit that to 9, so we get the 9 awesome GIF, and we have that possibility to copy each GIF just clicking the copy button, and then I can share that link on social media or just open on a large screen, just click any others, and here we have that. And by doing this, by building this, we're going to learn a couple of things. We're going to create Vue 3 application and have a look at the Vue 3 fragment components. So we're going to also learn how JavaScript debouncing works, so that whenever we type something right here, it doesn't automatically make requests every time when I change. So whenever I search, for example, Jim Carrey, it only makes requests whenever I stop typing. Okay, it doesn't make requests every time the input is changed. That's another thing, it's called debouncing in JavaScript, and we're going to have a look at this as well. We're going to learn how to exchange the data between several Vue components. We're going to register on GIFI API, get the API key, and use that to fetch the GIFs, and we're going to deploy this on Netlify as I mentioned. Okay, if you are new to my channel, just hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button and follow me on Twitter, and let's immediately start. All right, let's start, and first we need to install Vue CLI to generate the Vue application. For this, I'm going to open command prompt and run here npm install -g at vue/cli. I'm not going to hit enter on this because I already have that installed, but if you don't have Vue CLI installed, you need to install that. After this, I'm going to navigate to the folder where I want to create the Vue application, and right here I'm going to run Vue create GIFI API. I'm going to hit enter, and it will take a couple of seconds. It will ask also a question, which Vue version we want to use. I'm going to select Vue 3 preview version, hit the enter, and it will take a couple of seconds as I mentioned. I'm going to pause the recording and get back to you shortly. Here it is already installed, and we need to navigate to that folder GIFI API, and I'm going to run npm run serve, which will start the Vue server, and we can open already in the browser at port localhost port 8080. So here we have the Vue application up and running. Now I'm going to open the project in my web store. If your favorite editor is VS Code, you can open the VS Code and follow there. I generally prefer WebStorm for front-end development. Okay, let's quickly go to the source folder and open the app view. And right here we have that hello world and image. I'm going to clean up all these things. I don't need them. Remove that hello world component and clean up also some styles. I'm going to go to the components and delete that hello world component, completely. Okay, let's do like this. So when I save that and have a look in the browser, something is broken. The template requires child element. Okay, obviously. So let's create a couple of child components. So in the components, first I'm going to create a Vue component GiftList. Well, first we actually need to have a search, right? So I'm going to call this just search, and okay, right here we need input with some placeholder, type something to search for awesome GIFs. Okay, so we have that. Let's go to the app, and I'm going to use that search component. So I just start typing search, hit the enter, it automatically imports that for me. So that's one of the great features I love in WebStorm. So we have that search, and whenever we search something, we need to display somewhere, and that somewhere should be another component right here. So I'm going to create component called GIF, GiftList probably. Hit the enter, and then right here I need to iterate over my GIFs, and I'm going to create one more component, and that's going to be GIF component. Okay, so the GiftList basically will accept, using props, will accept GIFs array. I can change this into an object that should be GIFs, and the type should be array. I can iterate over my GIFs v for GIF in GIFs, and I can bind the key as well, which is necessary, gif.id, and I can pass that using prop GIF is GIF. And I'm gonna go now into GIF, and right here I'm gonna accept that using props. So GIF is basically an object, and we need to take something from that object. We're gonna see in the app, I'm gonna use that GIF list and pass GIFs array. Okay, we don't have that GIFs array, so I'm gonna create data right here, return GIFs as an empty array, and I'm going to pass that GIFs right here. So look at this. So right here we are using Vue 3's feature, which is fragments. So inside Vue 2 previously, we need to have only one element inside the template. So you couldn't do like this. So you need to put everything in the div and or in another element, and you should have it like this. But in Vue 3 we can actually have multiple elements inside the template, which is awesome. Okay, so we pass GIFs array right here inside the GIF list. We iterate over the received GIFs and render a GIF component. We pass that GIF, each GIF, and inside the GIF we just need to display the image actually. So right now I'm just going to type GIF right here, nothing else. Let's go to the search right now, and we need to actually make requests to fetch the GIFs. But for this we need the GIFI API key. So let's go to the browser and open GIFI API, and let's go to the get started with the API section. And right here, if you don't have an account inside the GIFI, you need to create that account. So I'm going to click login right here. I actually have already an account. So I'm going to go to the docs and API quick start guide. Okay, and click login. And here I am logged in. Okay, so I'm going to create new app. Just hit that. I can choose that SDK, which is recommended. So I'm going to leave this. Next step, I'm going to call my application GIFI API or GIF search app. In the description, I'm going to write just test. So create app. Now I can take that API key and I can use that. So let's go to the web store, and I'm going to paste this API key somewhere. Okay, and right here I'm going to create well, first of all we need to listen to the input event. So whenever we type something inside the input, I'm going to make a search or on input. Let's call it on input. Now I'm going to create a method on input, and whenever this happens, I'm going to make a request using fetch on the API endpoint. But what's the API endpoint? Let's go to the docs again and quick start guide, scroll down right here. We should see a couple of endpoints. Here we have it. So this is the GIFI URL. On this we need to make request. So, and we need to also pass the API key, and for the search keyword I'm going to pass Q argument. And if you want to limit, I can also pass the limit query parameter. So we need API key, Q, and limit. So let's have a look. Okay, right here I'm going to make a request on HTTPS and this is going to be the URL API GIPHY v1 GIFs search, and then I can pass API underscore key, and that should be the key we have right here. I'm going to delete that application, so I don't care if you see that key, by the way. So the API key equals to that one, and we need to pass query parameter equals to something, and that should be whatever is written inside the input. So I'm going to give that input vmodal as well, which equals search or keyword, and I'm going to create now data, and inside the data I'm going to have that keyword as an empty string. All right, now I can pass that keyword right here, this keyword, but I need to change that into backticks. Okay, here we have it. So we make a request, we pass API key, we pass keyword. Let's leave it right now as it is, and we're going to see that it returns more rows than we want, and then we can limit that. So we fetch that, then we get the response and return response JSON, and then we have the actual result, and that result is what we are interested. So I'm going to print that result. All right, and let's have a look in the browser. So let's refresh. Well, I'm going to add a little bit of styling right here as well. So that input, for input, I'm going to give it a little bit of padding, like 10 pixel and 16 pixel. I'm going to give it also border radius like a 4 pixel. Let's give it also font size larger, like 18 pixel. Let's have a look. Okay, this looks good. I'm going to remove the outline and give it border 2 pixel solid. I'm going to write here black and choose the color. So that should be grayish color. So let's have a look. Okay, this is good. Whenever we focus on the input, I'm going to change the border color into something blue. So that should be blue, but I'm going to change that, not that blue, maybe like this. Okay, good. So when I focus, okay, this looks good. I'm going to give it also width of 100% and display block. Okay, let's have a look. This is good. We need a couple of fixings. Inside the app view, I'm going to write here for any element, I'm going to set the box sizing to be border box. For body, I'm going to give it padding of like 50 pixel, and the app itself, no, not the app. Okay, let's have it like this. Okay, this looks good. So we can have it. So when I focus, this is how it looks like. So now let's open the where it is. Sorry. Oops. Refresh. So let's open the developer tools and let's have a look in the network. So whenever I type something, for example, bean, okay, it makes 4 requests because I just typed 4 times. So 4 times the input was changed. So this is one thing I want to fix. So we need to use debouncing, and I only should make requests whenever I I finish typing, sorry. So if I just delete that, it makes a lot of requests, which is not good. So let's go to the Vue component inside the search, and right here, I'm going to actually create search function, search method, which will do the following. So make a request and get the data, but inside on input, I'm going to do like this. So I'm going to call set timeout for half a second, 500 millisecond, and I'm going to call this search. But right here, whenever the on input is called, I'm going to clear that timeout. So I'm going to create inside the data, I'm going to create timeout, which will be null. And whenever I call this set timeout, I'm going to assign these to timeout. And then I'm going to call right here clear timeout, to which I'm going to pass this timeout. So using this, basically, whenever I type something very first time inside the input, it will come here and see if there is another timeout, it will clear that, so it won't call this search. Okay, if I type in like the second symbol, then it will come right here and see if there's another timeout, it will clear and create new one. So every time when I type something like fastly, without the delay, it will clear the previous timeout, so it will not call the following callback function and create the new one. As soon as I stop typing for half a second, then it will make request. Okay, let's have a look. Refresh that and go to the network, and I'm going to type right here bin, and look at this, it only makes one request. So if I just keep typing something then stop, it will only make one request. So if we have a look in the console, we see how the data is returned. This is the response received from GIFI API. So right here we have the data and pagination and a couple of other things. We are interested inside the data, and we have 50 records returned, and we don't want that many. So I'm going to actually restrict this by passing limit equals 9. So I only want 9 GIFs. So whenever I make request right now, it returns only 9. Now let's have a look. We have data. Inside the data we have each GIF, and we have a lot of properties right here. And what we are actually interested is the under images, and we have a lot of variations of the image. We have videos and GIFs as well, and I want fixed width still, this one. So I want to take the following GIF. So what I need to do, I'm gonna go right now. First of all, whenever we get the result, I'm gonna assign these GIFs equals to result data, because this is what we are actually interested. So whenever I save this, and I'm gonna move this on the right side. So whenever I type something, it takes the result and passes down to the GIF list. The GIF list iterates over the GIFs and pass each to the GIF. And right here we should see actually that GIF text, but we don't see for some reason. Okay, let's see inside the GIF list. I'm gonna print the whole GIFs object, whatever is passed there. So okay, nothing is actually passed, so the GIFs is an empty array. Let's go to the app. So here is the thing. So inside the search, we actually don't have GIFs. So whenever we get the data, we need to emit an event so that the parent app component knows about that and pass the GIFs down to the GIF list. So right here, I'm going to call this emit. I'm going to pass GIFs fetch, or fetch GIFs, and I'm going to pass result data, just like this. In the app view, I'm going to listen an event for the search, which will be fetch GIFs, and I'm going to create a function fetch GIFs or on fetch. Okay, let's create that method right here. Fetch on fetch these GIFs equal to result, and that result will be received as an argument right here. So now we have that GIFs, and let's have a look in the browser. So I'm going to type bin, and here we have that 8 GIF texts. So this comes from the GIF component. So let's go to the GIF and let's just print the whole GIF object. And here we have that. And we need images fixed with still URL. Okay, images GIF images fixed with still URL. So this is what we want, and here we have it. So right now I'm going to create div right here, and I'm going to give it a style, and inside the background image I'm going to specify, well, this needs to have a colon right here, so I'm going to bind that background image needs to look like this. Okay, look like this without that curly braces. So here we have that, and I'm gonna give that also class of GIF, and right here I'm gonna add a little bit of styling, so the width to be like 240 pixel. Let's give the same height 240 pixel. I'm gonna give it also margin. No, it doesn't need. It needs background repeat. It should not have background repeat, and I'm gonna give it background size to be cover. Let's actually have a look. So how does this look like? Okay, so this is not bad. In the GiftList, let's remove that, and in the GiftList I'm gonna give that well, actually that should be, yeah, I'm gonna put this inside GiftList, and I'm gonna give that GiftList display flex wrap to be wrap. I'm gonna give it justify content space between. Let's save that, and we actually need to refresh that. So let's search for bean, and here we have that. Okay, this looks good. This looks good. So we have how many? We have three GIFs. So this looks good, but they are not actually GIFs. Why? So let's search for Mr. Bean. So they are not actually GIFs. So let's inspect them and open in a new tab. No, they are not GIFs. Okay, why does this happen? So let's have a look in the network. So when I type something like I don't know, Jim Carrey, let's search for Jim Carrey, and here we have that returns the data, and we have a lot of images right here. And let's open fixed width still. Let's open the following link. Doesn't open. So no, it is not. Well, why it's not GIF? All right, I'm going to change something right here. So I'm going to take the original one. I just wanted to take the optimal one in terms of size. So let's take the original one and let's have a look. And yeah, it works. So here we have that GIFs, which looks nice. So let's search for Mr. Bean, and no, let's refresh that and search for Mr. Bean. Okay, here we have that animated one. Okay, nice. I'm gonna add a little bit of padding top, maybe, or margin top to be like 20 pixel, and let's give that margin bottom, not this one, but the each GIF, I'm gonna give margin bottom to be 20 pixel, and we can give it also background position to be center. Okay, this is slightly better. Now we need to add also the input and the button. So right here inside the GIF, inside the actual div, I'm going to put input, which will have type text, and I'm going to give that value as well. Inside the value, I'm going to put that GIF images original URL, and I'm going to give that input also ref to be like the URL input, and I'm going to have button right here as well, which should be copy. And whenever we click on that button, we need to copy URL. So let's create that copy URL method right here, and we need to select whatever is written inside that input. So I'm going to call this refs URL select, and that should be enough, by the way. So this then I'm going to call on document exec command copy. So let's see how this actually works. So I'm gonna refresh that. Actually, I don't need to refresh. So right here, I'm gonna click that copy and paste right here, and here we have that. Copy this, paste right here, and here we have that. So this actually works fine. So it copies. So whenever it is copied, I want also to write that it is actually copied. So right here, I'm going to change this refs URL value should be copied, and I'm going to make that input read only as well. Here we have it. So copied, and it basically is an indicator for us that our clicking did something. So here we have that. And I'm going to put this at the very bottom. So I'm going to give that GIF display flex, justify content should be space between. I'm going to also give that input flex of 1, and I'm going to give the GIF also align items flex end. Let's have a look. So here we have that at the very bottom, and copied, paste, here we have it. So this actually works. So we actually had a look at the debouncing, how we can actually search optimally to the GIFs. Here we have that. We saw how we can copy the URLs. So let's refresh that. Bin. Yeah, here we have. So we saw how we can copy. We saw we had a look at Vue 3 fragment components, and now we can actually deploy these to Netlify. So I'm going to open Netlify and click on that. If you don't have an account, just create one. It's free. So I'm going to click login, and here it is my dashboard. So what I need to do right now, I'm just going to open the terminal right here, stop that, and I'm going to run npm run build. The building process is basically done, and now I'm going to open the project folder, and it created that dist folder, and the dist folder contains all the necessary JavaScript, CSS, and HTML files I need. So what I need to do right now is just open that Netlify right here, open that folder, and drag and drop that dist folder right here. It will take a couple of seconds, and right here my application is deployed. I'm going to click to the following link, and it opens that, and I can search for Mr. Bean, and it gives me all the GIFs, or I can search for Jim Carrey, and here we have all the Jim Carrey GIFs, the top 9, let's say. So I'm going to click the copy. I can paste. So you make sure don't click this 2 times, because it will copy that one. So that's not, of course, the ideal solution and the best one. So I just did it very quickly. So click the copy, and here we have that. So paste right here, and we have that full image. And that's basically it. And if you enjoyed the video, just hit the like. If you are new to my channel, hit the subscribe button, and follow me also on Twitter. And thanks for watching, and see you in the next time.